right, we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Captain Swan Podcast, episode 79, the discussion for Her Handsome Hero. My name is Michelle, to the end of the world or time on Tumblr, and these are the people with me today.
Hi, I'm Alex, and my Tumblr is Jolly Old Roger.
Hi, I'm Daniela, and I'm Princess Swan Love on Tumblr.
Hi, I am Lisa, and I'm You Brought Me Home on Tumblr.
Hi, I'm Mai, and I'm Organa Solore. And I've saved the best for last, because it's me.
Okay, so before we get into the questions, what was everybody's overall thoughts about this episode?
It was Rumble-tastic.
Well, duh.
My.
I'm sorry, we knew that going in.
It wasn't that bad. It was better than I thought it would be, sort of.
Okay, here's the word I used in my review. Disheartening. That's what it was.
I'm sure we'll get into that. Lisa, what did you think?
There were parts that were disturbing, like with the Rumble mostly, extremely disturbing. There were parts that were really well done and exhibited quite a bit of character growth and some a very big mic drop that I think we've been waiting to see from the Snow part of that storyline. Thank you, Snow White. It was filler, but I think overall some questions got answered and some plot moved along. But there was some other stuff that could have been like, ugh, it's filler. What can you do? It wasn't boring filler. It was okay filler. I mean, I know the episode coming up this Sunday is going to be the boring version of the filler. This one was a decent filler.
No, not gonna be boring because it has Red Warrior in it, and that beats anything.
We hope it's Red Warrior.
Yeah, but you have to like be invested in that. If you're not invested in that, you just don't give a shit.
Okay. Well, we've got a bunch of questions here, and we're gonna start with the Rumbell questions since that's the elephant in the room. The first one is Anonymous asks, can you guys talk about how Rumple is the absolute worst?
Oh,
My go.
Obviously.
I like how this is becoming my trademark. I'm going to say I am very proud of that reputation. As much as I'm proud of my always talks about sex reputation.
Yeah, so
Okay.
Rumble's the worst. How is
Yes,
Rumple the worst?
Rumble's the worst.
Explain.
Because he's a fucking pathetic asshole. I mean, come on, seriously. In any other situation, the guy, or we've actually seen the show where the girl is feeling bad about herself, and instead of being like, no, you're stronger than this, you're stronger. I mean, he's like, yeah, you fucked up. Who cares? Go, come join me in the dark side. Blah, ha, ha. That's basically Rumple's inner monologue. Although I have to admit, I did enjoy the scene where they were breaking into the locker, and he was like, well, this is the first step into using dark magic for something, for blah blah blah, Because
Yeah.
he was right, and that point he was right. I mean, like,
Which is frightening.
if you go against using dark magic, and I completely support that, you have to be completely against using any kind of dark magic.
And see this.
And like, okay, like they couldn't find another way to open the stupid locker. Like, I'm sure there was a pipe there
Killian
somewhere.
uses his hook. I mean, he used his hook to break a lock like that. Come on, guys. Can't find a crowbar or something?
Exactly. I'm pretty sure there's a pipe around somewhere.
But see, this is something that somebody pointed out on Tumblr, and I wish I could remember who it was, but Belle always does this. Like, she always seeks a magical solution to her problems. Like, she went to the trolls to try to get her memories back. She went for that stupid mirror in this episode. She's exactly like Rumple in that she always seeks a magical solution to her problems. So does that make them perfect for each other?
No.
I mean, it's a weird thing that they do.
No, because okay, can I get into the one thing I talked about in you, or is that later on? The
That's a
emo
little bit
point.
later on because
Okay, I'm not gonna get into that.
we're gonna do Rumble and then CS and then we'll do your thing.
Okay, I'm on. Okay, but yes, Rumble is the worst because instead of making her feel better and supporting her, making her a better version of herself, he makes her a worse person of yourself, and that's not good, people. If being with someone makes you a worse version of yourself, there's something wrong. Something's said there, and it
Alex,
stinks.
Alex, do you think Rumple's the worst?
Definitely crocodile.
Can
That's
I
all
say
I'm gonna
one
say.
guess my opinion?
Sure,
I just
Daniela,
think
go.
that totally Rumple. At this point, I don't know about Rumble because at this point I'm just done with them. But seriously, Rumple is completely the worst because you guys already heard from the last podcast why. But I just think he's a total dickhead. He's making her feel bad instead of comforting her. And if Belle wants to be with this guy, then go ahead. To be with this guy, you're so blindfolded you can't see him for who he is. Seriously.
Well, yeah, that's basically what we just said.
Lisa,
Exactly.
In this episode, through her actions, I went from being pissed off that she kept backtracking and going back to. I knew no matter what he did, that she would just wind up going back to him because it's what she always does. It's her fucking pattern. But what I went from being frustrated to straight up pissed the fuck off when she turned into a total hypocrite. She bitches and bitches and bitches as the day is long about you can't use magic to solve your problems. She's trying to be black and white, that you have to, if you're going to be good, you can't use dark magic, and I would never control you with the dagger, but yet she just did because he wouldn't do what she wanted to do, and he was going to kill Gaston. She didn't want to hurt Gaston, but yet she advocated breaking into his locker to steal his book to get information. And then, while trying to prevent Rumple from killing Gaston, she went and accidentally tossed him into the river of Lost Souls anyway. And then felt bad for it for about 5 seconds. And then I was like, well, I guess if we're going to be dark, we'll be dark together. It's like, you know what? You two deserve each other.
Well, to
Go.
be fair,
Go.
she never said we're gonna be dark together. I actually
No,
understand.
she finally gave in and said darkness always wins. I'm like, you know what?
But okay, here's
You
the
deserve
thing.
each other.
I'm here. I cannot believe I'm doing this. There's actually defending Belle, but okay, plain devil's advocate. In that moment, I understand it. Like, I hate it. But in that moment, I kind of understand because Rumble is the only one there, and she needed support in that moment. So obviously, she's going to go to Rumble because he's the one right there. Not exactly that she completely accepts everything or whatever happened, but that he's there.
but here's my problem. But why is Rumple going to, or why is Belle going to Rumple in the first place? I mean,
What?
she said, fathers will do anything to protect their children. She is aware of the fact that this is the same man who let his son fall down a portal into an unknown land, and and basically sentenced him to a terrible life. So why in the hell would you even think that anything is different now? Just go to the heroes, you crazy person.
See, and that's what I don't get at all. Because we know from the comment about how he and Killian talked about Liam that he's been with the heroes. So why would you go back to Rumble? Like, it's just really stupid narrative choices. And
Yes.
we'll get into it later on. Because
Yes.
I do think they actually have a plan for a weird fuck up reason, because apparently that's me now. Making up reasons.
Well, our next
But I
question
mean, she had the perfect opportunity when she first went to them, to explain to them what was going on with the baby and the Wicked Witch and all that stuff. She had the perfect opportunity to fill them in on what she had found out from Rumple and ask for their help or for their protection. And I'm sure that they would have helped her despite everything else that was going on. I mean, they're not just gonna send her away. She had that chance, and she just, oh, you know what? I'm just gonna go to my super, bad guy husband who got me into this mess in the first place, and he was likely gonna make it even worse. But you know what? Screw it. I'll just go and do it anyway because that's what I always do, even though in the long run it only makes things worse.
Yeah.
So honestly, she's walking into her own shitstorm because she's so stupid. I don't have any nice words to say about this woman anymore. I mean, there's nothing else I can say.
Hey, she's an addict.
She's what?
An addict.
Yes.
To bad boys.
No, that's not a bad boy.
Okay.
Charlie Jones is a bad boy. Ness is an abusive asshole.
Okay, well, our next question can piggyback off of this. Anonymous asks, I find it interesting that only Rumbell condemned the exes they've murdered to the River of Lost Souls. Rumpel killed Mila and then pushed her into the river. Belle unknowingly mutilated Rose Gaston and then pushed him into the river. Will there be consequences, and will the others find out?
I honestly do, and this is going to coincide with what I'm going to say later. I honestly do think that it's an important part that the ones that Rumpel has had a hand in end up in the River of the Lost Souls, and the ones that the heroes have a hand in move on. So I do think we're going somewhere. Like, I do still believe that Rumbell is a fan service shit, and they probably won't end it as much as we like. But I do think they're actually trying to prove something. Maybe it's just my stupidly hopeful self. Because I see the narrative and I'm a writer myself, so this is the story the narrative is framing for me.
Yeah, I hope there's a point and it's not just
because,
toxic mess.
Okay, here's the thing. The difference between this and all the other times that Romel has been the worst, there was no point. Like, there was no narrative story in those times. You know? It just came out of nowhere. Here, it's actually kind of following a pattern. Which is weird. Which is why I'm kind of having a new thought about this. And there's the fact that pretty much every reviewer that I've read mentioned it. That it does seem. So, like, it's not just me looking at it this way. Like, they do seem to be working towards something. Not we don't know what that something is, but they are working to something.
Okay, Alex, do you think that the others are going to find out what Rumpel and Belle did?
It depends. I've been going through that thought the whole week, and I don't know. With this show, sometimes I don't want to sometimes they brush off a lot of things that I wouldn't be surprised if they never found out about Gaston. But I have a feeling that the Mila thing, everybody's gonna find out about that.
Yeah.
But the Gaston thing, I don't know. I think they usually brush things to the side.
Well, they have the advantage with Gaston that nobody else knows he existed.
Yeah, exactly. But with Mila, it's different because there's that connection with Killian, even with Emma. So.
Yeah, honestly, like I said, I think they're building to something. I don't know what. I don't know if it's gonna be good for Belle or bad for Belle, but I definitely think they're moving towards something narratively.
If
Lisa,
it gets Rumble bitch slap, I'm happy.
Lisa, do you think the others are going to find out what Belle did?
Well, considering how much storyline that this show tends to sweep under the rug, or just abjectly forget about in favor of other overarching storylines, I doubt they're going to find out anything about Gaston because, as you just said, no one really even knows that Gaston exists. However, the Mila thing, because of the importance that she has not only to Rumpel but most primarily to Killian, I can see that one coming out when, not through Rumpel, but probably through Hades. just to really like throw salt in that, in that wound there and say, hey, when it finally comes out, the deal, the things he's had to do to keep up this deal because of the baby contract, one of them being throwing meal into the. I have a feeling that might, but again, this show tends to sweep little B plots like that under the rug in favor of the big A story. So you really you can't really be sure. There's a lot of in past seasons there was a lot of important storylines that I know we would have liked to have seen tied up that we didn't get to see tied up because they were so focused on other things. So it's hard to really speculate.
Okay, so next question. Anonymous wants to know, this episode showed that Rumbell is so toxic they make flowers of hope wither and die. Do you think there's any hope left for Belle?
I don't know, man.
Yes. I'm gonna be hopeful. I have to be. The last thing, like Snow said, the last thing we lose is hope. And yes, I am that person. Apparently. I have to make my bed and lie in it.
I think the only hope.
I always end up hoping for things and getting burned. I see you, iOS. I see you.
Lisa?
But, I mean, I have to get us. I mean, it's part of my personality. I like being hopeful.
I literally think the only minuscule spark of hope she has left is in that baby, and I don't mean to make Rumpel good, because at this point, yeah, right, whatever. There's nothing that's going to make him good. I'm hoping that the baby will at least get her to see reality once it's born, because if the love of a child, if the pure innocence of a child can turn Zelina's heart, which obviously it seems to be, then I have to believe that her love, that Belle's love for her child, will get her to see that her relationship with her husband is toxic and that baby will not be safe. No matter how much she wants to believe that he could change for the sake of a child. I mean, she has to know what he already put Bae through. That's not going to change. He's already said point blank, I am what I am, and I'm not going to change, not even for you. So what makes her think he's going to change for a baby? He's not. I'm hoping it'll give her the courage to finally say goodbye, walk away for this, to give her child the life that it deserves, and not have to be burdened by.
Now, my question is, do you think that if Belle makes the choice to walk away, that Rumpel will actually let her walk away?
No.
I mean, walk away with his child?
No.
No. Mm.
Well, he did it when she was with Will.
Yeah, but she didn't have a baby.
Exactly.
That I think it's highly likely that Rumpel, especially with the most powerful darkness inside him, could actually do something to prevent Belle from leaving him, whether that's screwing with her mind or physically taking their child from her or something.
Or
He's all about the
control.
Yes.
Exactly.
Something like the Sands of Avalon will not be out of his purview.
Exactly.
No.
So I want Belle to wise up and go to the heroes and say, I need you all to protect me from Rumpel for the good of my child. But, Rumpel is Rumpel and will do whatever it takes.
And as long as the longer Belle stays Rumpel, the less hope I'm going to have in that character. And that's probably going to piss off a lot of Rumbell shippers, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
But you know something, being real here, considering how condensed that the seasons are, and I mean in real time, not our time, but like Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
We could be in season 20 before she gives birth to this kid.
Unless they
magically speed up for some reason. Yeah, unless they magically speed it up. It could be like 20 years on. We'll be in like season 20 and she'll finally give birth to the baby.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Well, okay, so this next question is slightly spoilery, so if you don't want spoilers, fast forward about 1 minute. Anonymous wants to know, do you guys have any idea when Belle is likely to be written out of this season on account of Emily's pregnancy? I'm sick of all the Rumbell. I don't think based on my knowledge of spoilers, I don't think Emily has been spotted past this next episode, 18 or 19.
Not
So
even in the studio.
I think after 18, both Emily and Ginny are going to be. Emily will be gone for the rest of the season, and Ginny will only be gone for a couple of episodes.
Mm.
Here's the, I don't know because I haven't really kept up with the filming spoilers as a precaution because I don't want to know everything. So I haven't. So like if I see them, there's no problem, but I don't go looking for them, so I don't completely know what episode she stopped filming.
But I think she stopped filming at 18, and I think I saw something about maybe them using a body double for her in like 19 or something. I'm not entirely sure about that.
Yeah, there is a scene where she's on a boat, and I think Rumple might be trying to get her back to the real world by sending her on Chiron's boat over the River Styx to get her out because he doesn't want her to be hurt. I think they use a body double because they filmed that from behind, so you couldn't see her. But yeah, she hasn't been on set since then because if you saw her in this past episode, she was at least 6, maybe 7 months.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So they had to cut her off. But I mean, she's not like Ginny who can go till almost the very end. But also it's because Ginny had much more of a storyline to. Belle doesn't have a whole lot of storyline to do.
Okay, so before we move on to the CS stuff, what did everybody think of Gaston? Was anybody like me and found themselves weirdly rooting for Gaston and questioning everything in your life?
Remember, I was having a Twitter breakdown because I couldn't imagine why I was so charmed and rooting for Gaston. Also, I have to say, props on Once Upon a Time on reshooting the scenes from season 1.
Yes, I noticed that in the previously on. I'm like, wait a minute, they put the new guy in those scenes. Yay!
Like, you did good. Like, normally they would brush it under the. I think in the ramen episode they didn't show Tom Ellis, right?
Nope.
No.
Or something.
Mm.
Well, remember, they had a whole episode basically dedicated to explaining why he no longer looks like Tom Ellis.
Yeah.
Well, they already explained that away, but
I mean, they didn't do like the previously on with Sean and Tom Ellis' scenes.
Yeah.
Here they did, so I thought that was a really neat trick.
I guess they thought maybe that since Skin Deep was filmed such a long time ago that maybe nobody will remember what he originally looked like.
Yeah, probably.
Me too, but I think he was hot. This new Gaston was so cute. It's because Gaston, for you guys to know, is one of my favorite Disney villains, and I'm glad that they pictured him right this season with this new actor. I'm very glad about that.
Well, the other actor wasn't bad. Like, for what he was in the other episode, he was pretty good.
I mean, but here's the thing. It's like, he wasn't, I mean, I didn't understand what was all that bad about him. Like,
No,
why
it
Belle,
wasn't.
like, flipped out.
And it's completely ironic. I actually wrote in my review that he has done much work. Belle has forgiven much worse from Rumple than this guy. Okay, yes, was it bad that he tortured the poor ogre? Yes, it was. But at the same time, from what they said, that the ogres have been in a fight with them already, so like you can understand why he would do those things. It doesn't make him a bad person. It just makes him a person with darkness inside of them, like everyone else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it shows that Belle has shitty taste in men.
Oh my god.
Well,
Except for Will Scarlet.
Honestly,
not shitty because he was married.
Honestly, it was hard for me to form an opinion about Gaston because he went from one extreme to another. In the beginning, when he was first trying to court her, I thought he was charming, but at the same time, I felt like he was pushing it. Like he was slightly fake. He was trying a little too hard. I think he was trying to butter her up as much as he could by, being as agreeable as possible, and he was trying to be charming, but it just came off to me as fake.
For me, it came
I
off
think
very charming.
I think they were relying on our preconceptions from the Disney film, and that's what sort of made it look more menacing than it was. Because as far as I could tell, his worst flaw was that, as somebody put it in my ass box right after the episode, that he wasn't an ogre rights activist.
I mean, he started out seeming sincere, but then when they were in the library, he was like really laying it on thick, and I'm like.
But that was after they ran into the ogre. I mean, she's like,
and then
ogre rights, and he's like, that they kill people.
but then when he his personality switched with the ogre thing, and he whipped the ogre, and I was like, that's the Gaston that I remember from the movie. So I guess they're trying to give him both sides. And I don't know whether to root for him or to say, no, he's got red eyes, he's dangerous.
But can we all agree that he did not deserve to get shoved into the River of Lost Souls?
No.
Yes. Yeah. I think he was just a decent guy who was probably responding to ogres the way that everybody pretty much did.
Another thing, with the type of marriages that could have been, Bo could have done much worse.
Yes.
Much worse.
Yes. When you compare what she's dealing with now, yeah. Sure, I'd be like, go to Gaston.
I think that, okay, here's my weird, like I said, hopeful, shipping thing. I think they, if the whole ogre thing hadn't happened, I think they could have been very happy together.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Because he seemed to give her, he seemed to respect her choices and all that.
Alex, what did you think of Gaston?
Like, when he was trying to, court her and stuff, I was like, oh, wow, he's a pretty nice guy. But I was always, on guard, because I was like, this is Gaston. I mean, something bad is going to happen. I don't think he's totally good.
You were waiting for the other shoe to drop?
Yeah.
Understandable.
I know.
I knew the shoe was going to drop, because they can't let anyone look better than Rumble.
I know.
It wasn't really the Gaston of it all. It was more the Rumble of it all.
So, do we think that Belle's actions in the flashback led to the ogres attacking her kingdom?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, not entirely. She obviously freed the ogre, which was a good thing. I think it was Gaston's actions of whipping the poor thing, because once the ogre freed itself, it probably went back home to its family, and they saw that it was whipped, and of course got really pissed off. So, really, it was more Gaston's fault than anything else.
Well, it was both their fault. Let's face it.
Yeah,
but I mean,
why are we wasting time to get a magic mirror?
Yeah. We can see Gaston is only a guy with muscles and is brain in his pants. Ugh.
But again, that was Belle seeking a magical solution to her problem, and it backfired on her.
Instead of maybe going to the ogres themselves, not the child, but the actual adult ogres, and maybe trying to sit down and have a conversation, peace talk, something.
Ogre.
Yeah.
But, Gaston jumped the gun, whipped the poor child, and that right there is enough for me to be, yeah, you are kind of a sick fuck. You went and whipped a child, that's kind of sick.
Yeah, but that child was at least as big as he was, and probably weighed more than he does.
I know, but still, if you're trying to get information out of somebody, whipping is not the way. Torture is not the way. I mean, see example number 1 with Robin Hood and Rumple. It's not the way. It's just a horrible, horrible thing. And that right there, remember when in the episode she knew that Robin Hood was being whipped and tortured, and her reaction was like almost nothing. But yet here, when Beyonce is whipping an ogre, she's about ready to throw him off his horse to make him stop. So it's like, where did this change come?
It's writing Belle is so inconsistent, it drives me insane, so I've chosen to ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, So moving on to Captain Swan, since that's what we're all really here for.
I hadn't noticed with the title of this podcast.
Okay, Anonymous asks, a question for the next podcast. Do any of you feel like there was some missed opportunities in this episode for there to be some really good Captain Swan moments? I mean, the ones we got were good, but I just wish they would have shown Killian hug Emma at some point and try to comfort her, or Emma lean on him in some way. I just feel there should have been more Captain Swan cuddles in this episode, considering all the worries Emma was having because of her dream. I wish we got more. Thoughts?
Oh.
Alex?
All right. I don't know. I mean, I was pretty happy with the Captain Swan moments. I think that a lot of people base the scenes off the spoilers that we get, like the rooftop scene. I know we all expected something more, something like their foreheads touching. But I wasn't expecting, huge moments. I was happy with that moment where Killian didn't he was with Regina about and who else was it? Snow?
Yeah.
Yep.
About the maybes and the hopefully. But when it came to Emma, he had complete faith in her. Like his hope meter just went up to 100. And that to me was like a nice little moment. And the whole, love is worth it speech.
Okay, well we've got one more question on this exact same thing, so let me read it.
Well,
Anonymous. Oh, it's the exact same question. Just let me read it so that I've read it. Anonymous asks, question for the next podcast. As much as I love the scenes between Killian and Emma, I wish we could have seen them be a bit more affectionate. I just wish we could have gotten a hug or some cuddling. Scenes just felt like they were missing elements of those things. And what are your thoughts? Lisa, go.
Oh, yes, I have to agree. I'm not saying that they have to be cuddles 24 hours a day, but this particular scene at the beginning on the rooftop, whoever edited that scene together, I just want to slap them, because it felt to me, all the way from the sneak peek to the actual airing of the scene, it felt like there was something missing. Like whoever edited it took out a major chunk and just, oops, forgot to put it back, or cut out too much, because there was no explanation of why they were up there, what they were looking for, what was the reason why they were on top of the library. They were just there. And because she was having this nightmare, I would have preferred to see her waking up on the couch or on the bed. Not because I want to see them yes, I want to see them sharing a bed, but it's to emphasize the fact that she has had so little sleep, and also to emphasize the fact that ever since she found him in there, they've been inseparable. Meaning, if she was going to go to sleep up there, even for a short time, that he's going to be with her. I felt like there should have been some, where they were trying to sleep and maybe he can't, so he's watching over her and she's having this nightmare that she, wakes up. I think that that would have presented it better, but then it wouldn't have gone along with whatever the hell they were doing down there in the library. They went from
actually do anything.
Yeah, they went from having no plan to magically between episodes figuring out this plan that ultimately went nowhere. It's like, what is the point of, okay, you're trying to open the door to go down to Hades' dungeon, but you didn't explain why you thought this was going to help you.
They still know how to defeat him, so what's the point of going down? What are you going to do, stab him with pointy things?
He's a god. You literally can't kill him. But the other issue I had I really loved the scene where he was, of course, Killian is always the one to give her the confidence boost. We've come to expect that. I was very irritated with hearing all these other people online saying that, he's stealing Regina's thunder, right, or discounting all of her ideas and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh my god.
Lisa.
Oh my god.
Apparently it is a royal travesty and a crime of biblical proportions for Killian Jones to have a negative opinion about anything.
Lisa, ignore the haters. They're gonna make your blood go crazy.
I know.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Don't waste time on them. That's what they want. They want you to talk about them all the time. And that's and you're falling for the game. The best part is ignoring them and ignoring they exist. Because guess what? Canon is on our side.
The hypocrisy is just disgusting. I mean, Regina can go around as much as she wants, sassing people, insulting people,
Yes,
and discounting plans and trashing people as much as she wants. Oh, she's just being sassy. That's how she is. But when Killian does it, because he's genuinely doesn't think he generally has an issue with magic and doesn't really trust it for very good reasons. Oh, he's being a dick. He's being an asshole. What an ass.
Here,
Oh,
I
dear.
always knew they were there. They've been there since she joined the cast. So guess what? And they're still on our side. Well, stop
Yeah.
giving them space. Stop giving them thought. Like seriously, you're giving them more power than they have.
Yeah.
God, I
So
hate.
to get
God, I
back,
hate swamp cleaners.
to get
Well,
back,
but if you talk about them, you give them power.
exactly. So no more,
So-
no more. So to get back to the question for a second, I
Mhm.
thought that what I think would have made the transition from the rooftop to down in the library to open that stupid door. I think if there had been either that or in Regina's Vault, if there had been like a hand holding scene or something, just some sort of physical contact, I think I would have been happy. I mean, they
Okay.
don't need to be like all up in each other's stuff like all the time, but they're going through some serious, intense stuff, and Emma's having like a crisis of confidence, and she's afraid that people she loves are going to be stuck down there forever. It's like sometimes just the simple act of holding her hand would have like gone a long way. And
That scene was, oh my god, that was
Okay.
perfect. Not only for the fact that
Okay. Let me
What-
talk. I haven't talked.
my go.
Okay. I honestly thought that what we got was pretty good because quality over quantity. And we got a scene where he's worried about her, when mentioning her not lack of sleeping and how she's finally sleeping around him, which is a lot because it means she trusts him enough to be able to go to sleep. I thought the scene on the rooftop, I mean, I actually thought it made sense, like they were looking for the sign, but not everyone could be downstairs, or like I had canon that they were on the roof looking as the lookout in case somebody came near the library. So
But what was theirs? But if somebody had, like, say if Hades had come by the library, what are they gonna do? I mean,
I don't know, but I'm thinking that's around show logic that they were lookouts. Wait. Remember, this show's logic doesn't go more than 2 steps forward.
yeah. Alex, what did you think about the lack of cuddles?
I mean, I'm not. This is probably like an unpopular opinion, but I wasn't too bothered by it. To me, like Captain Swan is just one of those pairings that they don't even need to be like in the same scene together to just have these type of feelings. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I would have liked it if at least even if they were in the background, at least holding hands, or at least on the rooftop. He could have been holding her hand or rubbing her back or something, but I'm not too bothered by it.
Yeah, that's me. Like, I would have liked more, but I wasn't bothered.
Me too. I would have liked more. I would have liked at least a little hug, holding hands. And we're not expecting something more than the balls with hands because we're not in episode 20, thank you. So I was hoping to feel more, but it was satisfying the whole speech of love is worth it and the Rube scene when he was worried about her not sleeping. But I found it was not bad. It was satisfying for me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't expect them to be making out like 24/7 right now. I mean, that's clearly unrealistic. But just something would have been nice. But anyway, okay. Next question. This isn't really a question, but can Emma dream up some CS sexy times because her
Yes.
dreams seem to come true in all caps?
Yeah, I mean, if you have prophetic dreams, use them for a good thing. Woo!
Oh my god. Every question is sexy time involves why. She has to answer first after anyone
But
else.
seriously, obviously this is not the time or the place right now. I
I'm a
get that,
fountain of replies.
but I just keep feeling like they've missed the boat. That it's just like by the time they do it, it's gonna be anticlimactic, and we're all just gonna yawn. I mean, not yawn because clearly that's. I mean, our TVs will melt, but I'm just like, why are you waiting so long? Like, I don't understand.
Me too. I'm like,
I mean,
is this Once Upon a Time or Once Upon a We're waiting for Captain Swan to have sex?
it's this relationship's been building for 4 seasons now. At the end, this isn't like Castle where they have to start from scratch and just to get to be the point where they're making out or whatever. These people have been in a relationship for like 6 months now. Come on, guys.
I mean, she
Yeah.
went down to hell for him, so.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we all liked Snow shutting down the haters, right?
Okay, yes.
Yes.
Now let's talk about
Yes.
Lisa.
About the haters?
Well, Snow
No.
saying that they all came
Oh.
down there of their own volition, that Emma didn't make
Yes,
them.
I was like, oh, thank you, Snow, mic drop, hater tears. Because since the beginning, even before season 5 aired, they were complaining, oh my god, why would she drag her, call CPS on this bitch? She dragged her son down there and all of her friends and family down there and they don't even know him. Why would they? She didn't drag shit. They volunteered to come on their own terms because they consider him family and they wanted to help. And we already know from the fact that of that cutout scene that was aired, which really should have, that Henry said even if they did leave him behind, he was gonna find a way down there. Period. She didn't ask anybody to come with her. She was fully intending to go down there by herself. They volunteered. Thank you, Snow. Move on, people.
Now, okay.
Move
And the
on.
best part of that scene was love is worth it. And the camera panned so not suddenly to Captain Swan.
Yeah, she looks at him,
Captain
and he looks at her, and it was
Honestly.
perfect. That scene was shot perfectly, and I also liked um, the double meaning behind when he was telling her, when she was explaining how she was scared that them coming down here was going to get them all killed, but she was doubting herself, and he said, "You saved me," and that line has a very double meaning. She didn't just save him by finding him in the underworld. She saved him in so many different ways. She saves him every day just by being with him, by loving him, by letting him into her heart, by giving him a second chance, to prove that he could be a better man, by being his light. She saved him in so many ways. That look on his face as he was telling this to her, it was so sincere. I hope that part of it translated to her.
And can we just point out yet again that while Regina very bluntly pointed out that there was an issue, Emma vehemently denied it, but then the moment Hook steps in between Emma and Regina and says, hey,
She opens up
me.
so much.
Exactly.
I know.
And they were mad at that too. They were all like, "Oh, he's stealing
Yeah.
her thunder." No, he's not. He even said that she was right. But we've already seen a million times that when Regina tries to force things, Emma shuts down. She doesn't like to be forced. If you take a gentle touch, like Killian knows how to do, because he knows her better than anybody, even herself, she will open up. But she cannot be forced. Or
But
she will run.
and here's the thing. Like, Regina was just being her usual self. And Killian and Emma was basically doing whenever somebody tells you that you have issues, your immediate response is always, no, I don't. So I thought that was a very human response. But obviously, she's going to answer Killian. Obviously, because he's her shoulder. So it works. Like, and he's there for her, and he's there for her to understand that If she wants to fight, he's there. If she wants to stay there hitting, he's also there. Like, he's her number one cheerleader. As obvious by the Regina and Snow talking. Sure, really, that'll work. Emma says 2 words. Yes, go, Emma, go.
Wow.
Okay, so Mai, you wanted to do your comparison about Captain Swan and Rumbell in the narrative.
Okay. Okay, something I noticed mostly while I was doing my review and while reading other reviews by Nerdy Girl and Ryan and Gish, there was a very clear narrative being framed in this episode. Rumbell, we have Rumbell on one side, who are completely separated from the others, and who represent hopelessness. Because everything they do is hopeless. And no matter what road they take, it ends in darkness, and it ends in Belle feeling bad about herself. And it shows how, and literally this episode showed how unhealthy their relationship was. Because it doesn't make Belle feel good about herself. It makes her feel bad. It makes her feel like she's the worst scum in the earth, and it leads to her doing shitty things like throwing Gaston into the river of lost souls. And in the exact same episode, and there's something really important because both Emma and Belle are pretty much afraid of the same thing. Belle is afraid for her child, and Emma is afraid for her family, and they're both trying to protect so hard the people they love. But while Belle is hopeless because really Rumple doesn't even try to comfort her. Emma on the other side has Killian, has her family, has even to an extent Regina, like giving her hope and say no, we wanted to be here. We wanted to help you. We will make it out of this. You're not alone. So, the heroes represent the hope, while Rebel represents the hopelessness. And I'm pretty sure there was another flower that bloomed where Emma and Killian were. Why? Because he helped her out, and while one side represents the whole unhealthiness of Rebel, they also represent how healthy Captain Swan is in this relationship. Because they listen to each other, they protect each other, and they lift each other up. So, yeah.
Wow.
That's why I think the narrative is either going to, if we continue on the road, which I actually think so because they've been building it up for like the episodes. Either
This isn't the first time this has come up.
Either Belle is going to do a lot of wars before she gets better, and then she's gonna get a wake up call, or this is all like a strength to Belle's character, like the final hurdle.
Mm-hmm.
No, like the final. Oh no, I don't think Belle's are gonna become evil, really. Like the final hurdle between her deciding, okay, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to stop you for good. So maybe, like I said, the hopeful part of me, that this is all building up to Belle realizing how her situation and how fucked up it is. It could happen, it could not happen. So,
okay, so here's my question about Hades. If he's all, got his knickers in a twist about the heroes bringing hope to the underworld, shouldn't it behoove him to help them get out of the underworld as quickly as possible? Why does he want them to continue to stay there?
I don't know, man.
Like that seems counterintuitive.
I think he wants their souls. He's greedy. Like he doesn't want them to leave because he wants to own their souls.
So he wants to make up for what he lost, the souls that he lost.
Oh,
but at the same time, like he needs them to leave because he can't stop them. He's not being able to stop them. So he's grabbing the weak link, which are Rumple and Bell. And Selena.
Oh,
Who he
Zelina,
loves.
her dead flower.
I think he wants them. He knows that if he just sends them away or helps them get back to the real world, there's always that lingering threat that they could come back. He doesn't want them to be able to come back. He wants them gone for good, so that Zelina can apparently have everything she wants and more.
Hopefully they will figure out. Well, hopefully, I'm hoping that this upcoming episode, the tide starts to turn a bit in favor of the heroes, because right now they've hit one roadblock after another, and it's starting to get tedious. However, okay, so the other big surprise of the episode was, holy crap, the Beast was Red Riding Hood, everybody.
I'm so shocked!
Yeah. So, okay,
That's
these next two questions are about Red, Ruby, whatever we're calling her today. First, Anonymous wants to know, do you think Ruby is dead? Or
No.
Red is dead? Which,
No.
No.
she arrived via cyclone. So
Yeah.
she's not dead.
My other question is, do you think she's the Ruby's gonna be like paired with Dorothy
Okay,
or with Mulan?
speak of the devil, because somebody asked a question, have any of you thought of a ship name yet for Ruby and Dorothy? And duh, it's the title of the next episode, Ruby
Ruby
Slippers, everybody.
But here's the thing. I don't like it. Like, from the sneak peek, I'm sorry, but I'm not charmed or anything by Dorothy. She seems like a bitter hat.
It makes you wonder what happened to her in Kansas.
Oh no,
Maybe
I'm very curious as to what happened to her in Kansas. But if they want it, if they really are doing the Ruby slippers, that's not a good way to start it. Because I don't care if you don't ship it or not, but Red Warrior had a very good first meet. Like, from the first scene, you can see like it happening.
You
know?
can see the possibility of it happening. I don't really
Yeah.
see it happening.
At least with Mulan and Ruby, it was like somewhat established by them meeting, and you saw there was a little bit of a spark for like the 5 seconds that they met up together. But we literally know dick about Dorothy, like nothing. And I'm sorry, but for them to establish, okay, she found herself back, and they went, her and Mulan went to Oz for whatever reason, blah, blah, blah. And then she meets up with Dorothy, and 5 seconds later, they're magically true love, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I know this is a fantasy show, and I know we're all aware of the fact that couples can fall in love, you know, quick as you please. I get it. But we have literally no investment in Dorothy whatsoever. We barely know her, and I can't hop on board saying that this is going to be like, okay, that this is going to be true love ship getting a true love's kiss out of nowhere. When they do true love's kisses, they're always planned out. They're for a reason.
No, they're not. Philip and Aurora, we knew Philip for a grand total of 5 minutes, and they counted on us knowing them from the movie to make that plausible.
Yeah, but
that was already established that because their characters are, you know, an already established true love couple in the Disney pantheon. But Dorothy and freaking Ruby, it's like...
See, I'm going to be a little irked because Supernatural already did a lesbian Dorothy from Oz. So I'm like, really? But I just think it's weird that the press release goes on and on about Ruby looking for Dorothy in the underworld. Mulan doesn't seem to be anywhere in the underworld. Nobody saw Jamie Chung doing underworld stuff. And Dorothy's the one who's cursed. So
Exactly.
I just feel like for as much as the LGBT community has been crying out for an LGBT couple on the show, the one thing that they said they did not want was a one-off, you know, special episode type couple deal, and it feels like that's what it's gonna.
But that's the thing. It's gonna be that whether it's Red and Mulan or Red and Dorothy, because they're not coming back after this.
In defense of the Red Warrior, well, we already got one episode, and we have an emotional connection to both Ruby and Mulan, so it does feel more like like more sense. Like it makes more sense.
I think it's possible that they looked at 509 and saw that Megan and Jamie didn't have quite the chemistry they were looking for and decided to
Why? I
change it.
thought they had a lot of chemistry.
I didn't think
I
they did.
know.
I never thought they did. I liked Mulan and Merida.
Me too. But meh.
So I was like, what is this Red business? I mean, and why, if Red is happy with Mulan, why are they still looking for her pack?
That was her.
If
That
she
was
had
her
no-
ultimate goal when she first met her. That was the
But if
ultimate
she's
goal.
found true love, what the fuck does she need her werewolf pack for? That's why her whole reason
Family.
for leaving Storybrooke was
Family.
death.
Exactly. Mm.
I don't know. The movie Redcon has always been really shitty.
Alex, what do you
Okay.
think about Ruby and Mulan or Ruby and Dorothy?
It's so confusing because first it starts with Ruby and Mulan. Now it looks like it's gonna be Ruby and Dorothy. I don't know. It's just I think I don't have an opinion of it now until I see this upcoming episode. Then I'll have some sort of opinion. But
I just think that if they were going to really honestly have an LGBT couple that's like all the other couples, like the main canon couples, that it would have been something that they'd build up over several episodes rather than two.
and without mentioning anything, like Adam and
Exactly.
Eddie should have not said a word.
No.
They should have, because like any other normal, they never announced, oh, we're gonna have Captain Swan, Outlaw. No, just like any other couple on TV, just let it, happen. You didn't have to announce it or make it a special episode.
Yes, you don't want to be the 100.
I mean, that's what Adam and Eddie said, that they didn't want to make it seem like, oh, it's just in a special episode because no, but I think they're a mistake, and I'm pretty sure they kicked themselves for it was ever mentioning that there was gonna be a LGBT couple. So, but
I just feel like if this true love kiss happens as a result of Dorothy being cursed or whatever, and she has to be woken up, I'm not saying that it will happen, but if that's how it turns out, I feel like it's gonna be such a waste, especially with the way that they've been building up, the gravity and the intensity of the relationship between Emma and Hook, and then dropping that line from Hades about having to have a true love's kiss to restart your heart and all that. It's like you've been dropping all these fucking hints that this is the way that it's going to go, and if you throw that one true love's kiss we get off on a non-developed, out-of-nowhere couple, even the Captain Swan haters are going to look at that and go, "Are you fucking kidding?"
But that doesn't mean that Captain Swan's not going to get some other kind of true
Yeah,
love
but-
moment. And as I said the other day, bringing your true love back from the dead is way more impressive than breaking a curse.
Mm-hmm.
and
I
she has
know.
to bring him back somehow. I mean,
I just
And
want
I still think we're gonna get through up kiss forget this one. I'm sorry.
I just want the true love kiss to happen, if for nothing else, than to shut the haters up. Because that's
Yes.
one of the sticking points that they keep saying that, oh, they haven't had a true love kiss yet, so they're not true love. Well, if we finally get it, bye.
I don't think it's gonna
Bye.
be. I don't think it's gonna be a kiss. I think it's gonna be some other true love mechanism.
yeah, some sort of true love act that's going to be much bigger than just a simple
Exactly.
kiss.
And I mean, we've
'Cause
got
the
the whole
kiss for
true love
me,
pedestal thing.
yeah, the whole kiss for me, when I think of a true love kiss, I always go back to Snow and Charming. That's their thing, I mean, not solely their thing, but this is how the show
Yeah,
started.
for me, when
Captain-
I think of True Love's kiss, I think of Will and Anna and breaking that kiss. Like, that's not love. This is.
But
Like,
see,
that's what I think.
That's the thing, though. Killian's not cursed. He's dead.
Exactly.
So there's no curse for them to break that would require a true love's kiss. They need true love something else to bring him back from the dead.
Like what?
I mean, I don't know. There's this whole pedestal thing that says only a heart filled with true love can pass. I don't know what that does, but it clearly does something. So it has to be for them. I mean, maybe it's true love's he has to pass through a door or something. I don't know, but it's not going to be a kiss in the traditional sense because he's not cursed.
But you know, okay, going back to the Ruby thing, you know what would have worked out really well and could have been developed because it has one of the main characters? And Michelle probably knows what I'm going to say.
Go
Red
ahead.
Beauty.
Yes. That would have been Beauty and the Beast done right.
Exactly, and it would have been well done because, I mean, come on. They had a lot of chemistry back in season 2, and they're still my OTP for both Belle and Ruby. And you will pry it from my cold dead hands.
I roleplay Frank and Wolf, so I can't support any red ship that's not Frank and Wolf. I'm sorry.
I know, and I understand that. But, like, for me, Red Beauty is my...
But Red Beauty would be my second choice if I had to have a second choice.
So, and it fits because, I mean, the whole monster who appears to be a monster but isn't really. It doesn't fit Rumple because he's a monster every fraction of his being.
At this point, anything would be better. A cockroach right now would be better than what she stuck with.
But
Okay.
yeah, but I mean, if they had worked it up since season 2, go for Belle a little bit and then have Belle. If they had Belle realize the moment he talked to Killian that, this is not the guy I thought he was, and then he shows his true self and almost killing Killian and all that.
That moment where she says, his heart is true and yours is rotten, I really just want to shake her really hard.
But, like, if they had focused on that moment and had that moment be like an eye-opener for Belle, and maybe move it into season 3 a little bit, you know? Like, let it,
Yeah.
and then, but still have her, like, have a friendship with Ruby, and have Ruby be there for her. That would have been organic, and that would have worked out really beautifully. And it would have kept Meg and Ori on the show for longer. Which, I still say the show suffered from Meg and Ori not being on the show.
Yeah.
Because we had a Snow Ruby friendship, Emma Ruby friendship, which was really good. And having not Swan. Having a Red Beauty would have worked. So yes. Missed opportunity, show. Missed opportunity.
Okay, well, we've got 2 questions on spoilers, and they are both about Robin.
Uh-oh.
So, okay, Anonymous asks, I firmly believe that Robin's going to die because they did not develop him correctly, and also the fact that season 4 was supposed to be about Outlaw Queen but turned into a clusterfuck because they got frozen, so they were focused on the Emma-Regina friendship instead of Regina's relationship with her soulmate, and also the Queens of Darkness arc also is at fault. With that, now that it's all about Regina's relationship with Zelina in season 5, to be honest, they should have never made Robin her soulmate in the first place.
Well, no, and because they weren't planning on making Robin her soulmate in the first place, it's only because Lana Padilla complained and said she wanted a romantic interest.
Can I say something since I'm a queener here, besides the
Sure.
queener? Look, I just realized that maybe his scenes in episode 23 were filmed in the studio, or maybe in Regina's house. That's why we haven't seen him in the behind the scenes pics.
The scenes they film in Regina's house, they film in the actual house in Steveston.
Yep,
That's not a set. That's the actual house. And Sean was spotted in Los Angeles while they were filming.
And didn't Sean tweet something? Like, kind of confirm. I saw drama on Twitter, like, Sean tweeted something, like, last week or this week that made it seem like he didn't have a job anymore.
He'd see them in Vancouver or some such. But
That makes you kind of think that he's not really gone.
No, I think he's dead. I think he's
I think
dead.
I think
And
so
speaking
too.
of which, if he dies, God forbid, Henry can bring him back to life because Henry's the author, and
No,
that he found out.
He's
they're
not
not
gonna do
gonna
that.
use that.
That was the whole point of him choosing to use the pen the way it was supposed to be used, which is to record the stories and not.
Interfere.
Yes. Thank you.
But I hope he doesn't die.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know who it was on Tumblr, but it was right around the shooting part where it came out that Robin was kind of a cheaper version of Hook because they tried to do all the things that worked with Captain Swan. Regina trying to be a savior, a guy from literary shores, a British guy, but it didn't work for them because the story just didn't work for it in that moment. Plus, I'm pretty sure the Kiss of Death, I'm still gonna say that the Kiss of Death was having Regina be the one that killed Marion.
Yeah.
For me,
that turned a lot of people off. And the whole Marion Frozen cheating thing.
Yeah.
But I just hope he doesn't die permanently, or that he doesn't die at all, because I just don't want to see my Regina like sad, heartbroken, and turning back to the evil queen, please, because I don't want that. I just want her to be happy with not only with Henry, with her friends, her family, but no man in this world will love Regina and understand her like Robin did.
I mean, I agree
Well,
that
he
if Robin
didn't
dies,
understand her. He understood one side of her. He never really seen the evil queen part of her. Like saying he understand her completely.
see, that's the problem. They never showed us why he would understand her. They never showed us the bad thing that he did that would make him understand why she was the evil queen. If they had shown us that, I would be a lot more invested in why Outlaw Queen should be a ship I should care about. But here's the thing. If they sent the baby hobbit through the portal, you don't do that if Robin's alive. You don't separate Robin's children like that if he's alive. You just don't.
He's with his real dad now.
And it's just I just don't. And if they want to do Jekyll and Hyde in season 6, Regina's the ideal person to do Jekyll and Hyde with. That's all I'm saying.
That's true. And
Okay,
I really think that's what they're going for.
And we have one last question on this whole Robin dying thing. Anonymous asks, in the scene in the vault, Emma says she's frightened that someone will die and she will feel responsible, and now I'm worried about how she's going to take Robin's death if the storyline goes that way. What are your thoughts?
I don't think so.
I don't think she's going to die in the Underworld. I think he's going to die afterwards.
Yeah, I think he's going to die afterwards too, but what if it's a consequence of, like, what if Hades follows them or something?
Ooh.
Well,
That's my
all
worry too.
Oh god, yes. I don't need a repeat of what happened post season 3 finale, where every Regina fan was hating on them.
Oh,
we don't need
God.
a repeat of that.
We don't want to repeat that, please. If they kill Robin, maybe that's gonna happen. That all the Outlaw Queeners are gonna blame Emma because she had a vision.
Done that. They did that post season 3.
Yeah, I'm not like a big Regina fan or anything, but even I think that killing Robin is a bit of overkill.
Yeah,
it's not fair.
It's like
I have
to being kidnapped. Maybe
I have to give her credit though, because it seems like as each episode has gone by in 5B, it seems like she does something to better herself or to better people around her, or to be supportive. In the scene where she meets Zelena in the diner, I was actually really surprised because their relationship's always been so toxic and so hostile. I was really surprised that she, was so sincere to her, and that she's like, can we just put our shit aside and just try and be sisters? And not just because I want to get out of here, but because, I want us to get, obviously she wants them to get along. But of course, Zelena goes and takes it the wrong way, as usual. and thinks that, oh, you're just saying that because you want to get out of here, you don't care about me. God, are you ever going to not think that everybody in this world is against you?
Well, here's the thing. He's lived, 30 years thinking with that mentality, and when every time he tries to change that mentality, it proves wrong and it proves too well. in her mind that nobody cares. So it's hard to break that mentality.
And this is why both sisters confronting Cora is so important. And I'm glad
Yes.
the show's doing it soon.
Me
I
too.
can't wait to see that.
It's gonna be
That's the
awesome.
one. That's the one thing that this emphasis on Zelina that we've gotten these last 2 episodes. That's the one redeeming factor. I'm looking forward to Cora meeting her eldest daughter.
Yes, I think that they both have the opportunity to meet her, confront her, and Zelena has a chance to finally unburden her heart as far as all that pain that she went through because of what Cora did to her. I think it will do wonders for her emotionally.
I mean, clearly something happens because if the people who saw the fountain scene were reporting correctly, Selena and Regina are hugging. So
Seriously?
something
Oh
in this
my
scene
Yeah.
should
god!
happen to put
I've
them
been
back on
waiting
good
for that
terms.
forever.
And that's
And
that's
this
the
is
other
coming.
thing.
And wow, weren't you the one like during season 3B who said that Zelena was irredeemable, or no, during season 4 that said that she couldn't be redeemed. She was so horrible.
At that point, it was true because I didn't think she was ever going to actually confront Cora, which is the source of her problems.
Yeah,
The
pretty much.
underworld is taking care of that. Thank God. I mean, if they want to redeem, and see, that's the other thing, that if they want to do this Jekyll and Hyde thing with Regina, and I know everybody's like, well, Robin can't be dead because Regina doesn't look all that upset. Her son also went missing. I mean, her son took off with his girlfriend to parts unknown, so I think it's entirely possible that Regina could be suppressing her grief, in searching for her son, and her sister's gone, and so she's concentrating on that and suppressing her grief, and that's what's going to make her vulnerable to Jekyll and Hyde in season 6, and that's when it's all going to blow up. But
Again.
here's the thing, though. Here's another reason why I think Robin's dying. I mean, every single time they've had Regina talk about what's made her happy in 5B, it's always
said
been her
family,
family.
not
It
love.
hasn't been Robin. It's been her emphasis on her family and her enemies becoming her family, and they're mending fences with Zelina. So they're setting it up for Regina to be happy without Robin because they're going to kill him.
I think that she's gonna say that the part of her life being happy besides her family and Henry is Robin. Maybe she's gonna say it's Robin when it's the last 2 episodes of the finale. Maybe that's when she's gonna say it. That's why we don't know. We don't know that yet.
No,
Well,
but she said it before.
if that's the truth.
Here's the thing. Narratively, she said it before. Remember in season 4?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, the one, I've only been happy with you, Robin, and Rowan. So
See?
the
And
fact
then-
that they
and
say
then-
scares?
And then with
Come on.
with the author, then she said, "I don't need a man to like make me happy. I need to stop getting in the way of my own happiness." That didn't really have anything to do with Robin. Robin was a piece of it, but he wasn't like the key to it.
He was like part of it.
Just like
The only-
Killian's not the key to Emma's happiness, but he's the thing that makes her the happiest.
The only thing that worries me, if he in fact is dead, is I don't want certain members of the fandom to
Again,
take this
you're
as
you're way too
giving
concerned
power.
about these haters.
no, because I mean, look, they've been browbeating this poor man since he first came on, and if he really is dead, his character's gone. It's like, oh great, that's one half of our problem out of the way. Now we all we have to do is browbeat.
But
this
Lisa, Killian is literally dead right now. This whole arc is about bringing him back to life. Why
You're
the hell
never
would they then
getting
kill
rid
him
of
again?
Never.
I just don't
The
want that.
suits
No,
at the
no.
network would flip out if they try to get rid of Colin.
And
I
we
know that I'm not.
Please.
And we know the network.
Hold on. I know that that's never going to happen. I know that. That's not what I'm worried about. I'm not one of those nervous Nelly persons. I just get really fucking tired of them yak, hate,
Just
and with
don't
Robin
look.
out of the picture, it's going to be
Don't
even
look.
worse.
Do you know how long my block list is on Tumblr? And I guarantee you half of them are bitter, evil Swan Queeners. And I don't care. So I block their nastiness. I don't have to see it. And I live in my bubble. It's a good place.
I just say so. I just when I see the Swan Queeners, I feel exactly like Michelle. But at the
Honestly,
same time, that it's not worth it. They're mature. They're crazy people. I just ignore them. Like, man, you guys are. You guys are not worth it. Whatever you're gonna do is not gonna help because Captain Swan is canon. Alcuin maybe because maybe it's can, and if Robin maybe doesn't die for permanently, maybe it's like
Well, that was all the questions we had. Does anybody have final
But
thoughts
honestly,
on the episode?
never getting rid of Colin because they made him a regular when his episode hadn't even aired. They wanted him from the beginning. They're never getting rid of him. So stop giving those stupid fuck darts. Even the mental space. Like, you know how much it's screwing with you to have allowed them the mental space, Lisa? Give yourself a rest. Do some yoga or something. Burst them out.
Do yoga.
Honestly,
Get on a plane, fly down here so that you can watch the dust storm with me.
honestly, I've gone from being frustrated at their bullshit to actually thinking it's quite funny because when I go on to the advisory board and
sorry
listen to
guys, the feedback
And-
was like
and I
sorry, the
listen to
feedback.
I look at their posts, I didn't think that what other people had said was true about the little pieces of supposed subtext that they keep picking out, but after this episode aired, they were like, "Oh look, they color coordinated, and oh look, they did magic. It's the magic of true
Oh, man.
love."
Oh my god.
Lisa, stop hating.
These people are
Stop
honestly,
going on these people's blogs.
I'm like, these
And
people are
not just
honestly
for everyone in the
serious.
fandom.
Okay, now this is I saw this post on a CS blog, but somebody hijacked a Swan Queener hijacked a Captain Swan post and started going on about why they brought Killian to the fight against when they were tracking Ruby in the forest, and it's like
Dungeons and Dragons
And it's
101
just like-
people.
like have you never read a fantasy book like ever?
If you've never played a role-playing game, it's D&D 101. That's why you have a melee fighter, which is, that's close in. That's why
Yeah.
you have a melee fighter, you have a cleric, you have a magic person, you have fighters with all different kinds of skills. You can't just rely on one. Because I guarantee you, even if that creature was impervious to magic, as that one poster said, it sure as hell is not going to be impervious to a pointy object going through its gut.
And Killian was the only one who had two weapons, I'd like to point out. He
And they're like,
his
oh, he's
dagger
useless, all
and
he's-
his hook.
They're like, oh, he's useless, all he's got is this sword. I'm like, this is the same guy that took down an entire bevy of not only Midas's guards, but Regina's Black Knights by himself.
And
The
took
man
down
knows
Blackbeard.
what he's fucking doing. And Blackbeard
Yeah.
knows
And
what he's
Arthur.
doing.
Okay, well, does
Okay,
anybody
this
else?
is for the fandom, Lisa, and the rest of the fandom. Stop hating the reading. If something happens on your dash, ignore it because you know what? That's what they want. They want to get a rise out of you. They want
Exactly.
you
And
to
Hook
be
is not
smart.
useless, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything but. Anything but.
I love
And
Killian
we
Jones.
know that.
I will defend him to death.
We know that.
Me too.
They're the ones that are watching an entirely different show.
Yes, they are.
So, you know what? Let them stay in their delusional craziness. And don't give them don't even give them 5 minutes of your mind space. Use that mind space for something more sophisticated, like Captain Swansex, or calling Sam, or how beautiful Jennifer Morrison is. Those are important things that should occupy your headspace, not whatever bullshit any other antis of the fandom are spouting.
Here,
Okay.
I just hate
They
those
have to
fucking
listen
Swan
to
Queeners. I
white
hate them.
panda.
Okay, final thoughts on this episode. Alex, go.
Killian Jones is amazing, and I love him.
Me?
Daniela.
Although. Rumble's a douche. Belle deserves better. I hope they defeat Hades, and Celine has a dilemma between being good or wicked.
Lisa, go.
Rumble is toxic. They deserve each other. If she doesn't leave, then I don't have any respect for her at all. Snow, thank you for that much well-deserved mic drop that we've all been
Yes.
waiting for. I don't know what else to say about the Ruby thing because no one really knows about that yet. But of course, awesome Captain Swan stuff. A little bit slow, but all around not bad.
My go.
I'm excited for movie next week and for Red Warrior. Captain Tom is awesome. Rumple's gonna die in the ditch, probably in the season 6 finale or the end. On the show, he's gonna die in the ditch. Like, this episode and this season, like, confirms to me that he's the villain of the show. So, like, I'm not worried.
Didn't we know that already?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, but everything that happens just confirms it even more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I enjoyed the episode more than I thought I would, be considering it was a Bell episode. Those are not typically my favorites, but I enjoyed Gaston. I didn't think he was such a bad guy. Yay, Captain Swan. Yay, temporarily having Ruby around. Yippee. And since no one, and I'm just going to say this briefly, I saw the Dust Storm last night at the Nashville Film Festival. It was amazing. Colin, he is the movie. He carries the movie. He's fantastic. And that's all I'm going to say, since certain other people are going to be seeing it with me very soon. Because it's playing again next Saturday. Everybody, if you can get to Nashville, Saturday.
I could do it.
23rd.
I can't
live in New York
because
City.
I can't because plane tickets are fucking expensive.
I'm a little far.
So I think that's it. Is everybody ready to go?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye guys. See you.
Bye.